The board has already participated in a closed risk management session and a workshop. I will read these reminders again for those who are just joining us. Viewers and listeners can access the meeting today by either watching on Comcast channels 234 and 235, UVerse channel 99, or by using the YouTube link on our webpage at palmbeachschools.org. We also offer a listening-only option which the public can access by calling 561-357-5900 or toll-free at 1-866-930-7015. The meeting ID is 1-561-880-1124 #. I now call the first regular board meeting of 2021 to order at 5:04 p.m. on January 20th, 2021. Mrs. Bass, please call the roll.
District 1, Barbara McQuinn. Here. District 2, Alexandria Ayala. Here. District 3, Karen Brill. Here. District 4, Erica Whitfield. Here. District 5, Frank Barbieri.
Here.
District 6, Marcia Andrews. Here. District 7, Deborah Robinson. Here.
We have quorum with all 7 board members present. Also joining us on our dais is Superintendent Dr. Fenoy, and since we can't fit them up here during our COVID separation, social distancing requirements, we have with us also out there General Counsel Sean Bernard, Inspector General Teresa Michael, Student Council President Santiago Alvarez, and our board clerk Carol Bass. Senior staff members will join us periodically as directed by the superintendent. This meeting is being transcribed by a closed captioner, so remember to speak at a reasonable pace. Will everyone please stand for the pledge to be led by President Alvarez.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The board welcomes public speakers who are joining us in person today. While your attendance here at the board office is appreciated, please be mindful of important safety protocols that the district now has in place to conform with COVID-19 safety guidelines. Please respect this cautionary warning that in the event of interference with the orderly processes of the meeting, failure to follow the safety protocols and procedures, or otherwise disruptive conduct, this conduct will result in removal of the person from the meeting. Please abide by these protocols so Palm Beach County School Police officers do not have to take action. Thank you. We have no minutes to approve today. We have 4 items have been added for good cause. ELR2 2021 modifications to the collective bargaining agreement with the Service Employees International Union / Florida Public Services Union, regular supervisory ECP paraprofessional 2, P3 revised salary schedules for school-based administrators, P4 revised salary schedules for non-bargaining unit employees, including administrative, professional, and managerial, miscellaneous, and confidential. Good cause exists for adding these items to allow for timely processing of raises for affected employees. Item P2, personnel addendum. Good cause exists to add this item so employees can start in their new positions as soon as possible. Mr. Superintendent, do you have any items to withdraw?
Mr. Chairman, I have nothing to withdraw at this time.
We have 2 items have been pulled so far by board members, ELR1 and POLA1. Board members at this point, do you want to pull anything else? Seeing none, we need a motion to approve the agenda as modified. Motion by Mrs. Whitfield, seconded by Mrs. McQuinn. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Disclosures and abstentions, board members? Seeing none, Mr. Superintendent, comments?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Although we still have 5 months left in this school year, our academics team are actively preparing for the 2021-2022 school year. I would like to remind parents who haven't done so already to submit their choice program applications. The School District of Palm Beach County is proud to offer more than 330 choice and career academies in grades K through 12. These innovative learning programs engage students and contribute to their academic and postgraduate success. The deadline to apply for choice programs for the 2021-2022 school year is quickly approaching. You have until January the 29th. You will learn more about our programs and the application process on the district's website. For those students and parents thinking about college, check out an initiative currently underway called All In on HBCUs. From now through January 28th, this event connects students and families with information about 34 historically black colleges and universities. All sessions are virtual, free, and open to anyone who is interested in chatting with a representative in real time. You'll also find information about this on our website. And now for a quick update regarding COVID-19 and the vaccine. We have expanded the district's COVID-19 webpage to include information regarding where vaccinations are being administered in Palm Beach County, who is eligible, and how to make an appointment. This webpage was created for your convenience so that you can see all of the vaccine locations listed in one place. Demand for the vaccine continues to outpace supply. Although I have appealed to Governor DeSantis to prioritize school district employees who have direct contact with students, that has not yet happened. However, I will continue to champion this priority status. Meantime, I want all district employees who are 65 or older to know that they are eligible under the state's guidelines. About 1,100 members of staff are over age of 65, nearly 500 of them are teachers. You will need an appointment. Again, all of this information is on our website. I'd also like to remind everyone that this is not the time to let down your guard. Any students or employees who are not feeling well should stay home. We all need to work together to combat the transmission of this virus. And finally, those of you who know me well know that I am extremely passionate about student literacy. Literacy is a fundamental cornerstone of academic success for children and motivates students to be lifelong learners. The Florida Department of Education has designated next week as Literacy Week Florida. This year's theme is Humanity Tells a Story. What's your chapter? The Division of Teaching and Learning has created a webpage with grade level specific resources. You'll find that information on the hub, which is the district's intranet. As always, I encourage parents to share a love of literacy with their children. At this time, I now call our Deputy Superintendent, Keith Oswald, to the front table to formally introduce our wonderful new principal at H.L. Johnson Elementary School.
Thank you, Dr. Fenoy, and good evening, board members. It is with great honor to introduce to you one of our new talented leaders that will take the helm of H.L. Johnson, Mrs. Crystal Amato Kucharski. Crystal.
Thank you and good evening. Board Chair Frank Barbieri, Vice Chair Karen Brill, and board members, Superintendent Dr. Fenoy, Deputy Superintendent Keith Oswald, Central Region Superintendent Valerie Haynes, and Central Region Instructional Superintendent Vivian Green. I sit before you today extremely humbled and grateful for this wonderful opportunity. As a former resident of the village of Royal Palm Beach, an H.L. Johnson student, and a 14-year teacher and instructional leader at Royal Palm Beach High School, I know I am privileged to be a part of the H.L. Johnson family and community. Being principal for me at H.L. Johnson is both a professional and personal dream. My grandmother moved to the United States with her 4 boys. She instilled the quality of hard work and service within them. My father and mother, they met in high school, and they continue to ensure hard work and service was instilled within me. So I want to thank my family for giving me the strength to believe in myself and know that with hard work, anything is possible. I want to thank my friends and coworkers who have always been my cheerleaders. I want to thank Dr. Jesus Armas, my mentor, for showing me how to make my vision and turn it into a reality. And finally, I want to thank my husband, he's over there, Nick Kucharski. Thank you. You are my rock, and without your support, I would not be able to do everything the way I have dreamed of. So I want everyone to know that I am committed to supporting every child every day, and I will bring the enthusiasm, energy, and thoughtfulness needed to continue to make H.L. Johnson an exemplary school. I recognize the opportunity to lead a school with an extremely dedicated staff, devoted families, and a supportive community is a privilege. I feel incredibly fortunate to be a part of the school and to support all stakeholders. Most importantly, I believe that students are at the center of every single school decision. Again, thank you so much for this opportunity. I will make you proud.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ms.
Mr. Chairman, those are my comments.
Board member comments, Mrs. McQuinn.
Thank you. My comments tonight are regarding a consent agenda item that was not pulled and had former school board chair and board member, Mr. Chuck Shaw. Had it been polled, he would have been absolutely appalled. So I don't want this to get lost, though, and for members of the public and perhaps staff members, employee members, to not see this honor that has been bestowed upon and earned by Mr. Chuck Shaw. So I'm going to read the item to you. I've got to find the item. The new Adult Ed Center building that I have not yet seen, I'm very anxious to. I hear it's incredible. The new building is being named at the recommendation of the Adult Ed Center School Advisory Council members. They are renaming the school to honor Mr. Chuck Shaw. This recommendation was made for his 55-plus years of service to the school district of Palm Beach County and Mr. Shaw's lifelong support for adult and community education programs, along with his extensive community service. So I want to take this opportunity to personally congratulate Mr. Shaw on this well-deserved honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McQuinn. Ms. Ayala?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to start by thanking and recognizing Living Skills in the Schools, their CEO, Dr. Suzanne Spencer, and project manager, Dr. Billy Gyra, who is here with us today in the audience. LSIS is an accredited and licensed district partner that brings credible, age-appropriate, and proven substance abuse prevention programming to students in our K-12 classrooms. Since 2000, they have reached over 250,000 students, and this school year alone, LSIS has already reached over 24,000 students and held nearly 1,000 virtual presentations of programming and education. After months of planning and anticipation and through a very successful partnership with Principal Patterson and her team at John I. Leonard High School, my alma mater, last Wednesday, January 13th, a drive-through family box distribution was held on the campus, and we fed and educated nearly 300 students and families. I am grateful for this opportunity that was afforded to Johnite families, and I look forward to continuing to work together to bring forward even more opportunities. Second, I had the pleasure to visit with the Palmetto Elementary Panthers and the Grassy Water Owls. These two amazing District 2 elementary schools have adjusted so beautifully to the difficult conditions we're existing in and are working overtime to ensure that our students have the absolute best opportunities. Grassy Waters boasts a biomedical and veterinary sciences program, and Palmetto offers an IB primary year program and even STEM infusion. Thank you so much to Principal Harris and Principal Galindo and their teams for their warm welcome and their enriching tours. Your leadership and efforts keep our district running every single day. Finally, I wanted to share that I participated on a Facebook Live put together by Alianza for Progress, a nonprofit organization that seeks to transform Florida by organizing and empowering our Latinx communities through voter education, civic engagement, and issue advocacy. The conversation centered around ensuring success for our ELL students, our English language learners, when it comes to the upcoming testing schedules. It was an honor to be a panelist along with a growing number of Hispanic or Latinx school board colleagues currently serving our students throughout the state of Florida. That concludes my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Whitfield?
Thank you. I just wanted to take a quick moment to recognize the inauguration today. I think it was a wonderful moment to see our youth poet laureate speak. I was so impressed with her poem, The Hill We Climb, and I am hopeful that we will, when the book comes out, have it within our schools. I felt that her message of hope and unity was just absolutely wonderful. One thing that she said in her poem was, a nation that isn't broken but simply unfinished. And I feel that way about the school district. Even when we go through some challenges, this district is strong and growing and changing every day. And so I'm very proud of this district, and I'm proud of this country, and really just getting to see a 22-year-old speak, and so just really everything that I was feeling just meant so much, I think, for this nation. Amanda Gorman is her name. The second thing I wanted to mention is thank you to Lake Worth Beach, Boynton Beach, Lantana, and Delray. I have had an opportunity to speak at Lake Worth Beach and Boynton Beach last night and the week before. to their city commission. And last night was also joined by Dr. Robinson, which I was very grateful for. This opportunity I've used to reach out to the cities to let them know about the challenges at our schools right now, the struggles that we're going through with children who are not currently in the building or trying to participate via distance learning and maybe having some challenges in their education, and just the struggles that we're having as a school district. So I want to say a big thank you to those cities, and we have Commissioner Katz obviously here today with us in his other capacity, but a huge thank you to the commission for allowing me to speak, and the resounding support that I always receive for our schools from our city commissions. Thank you.
Mrs. Andrews?
And thank you. And good afternoon. I just want to say again, I know I mentioned it last week, we're celebrating the National Mentoring Month. Our Take Stock in Children mentors continue to dedicate their services to all of our student mentees. It's a great month with a whole lot of activities to honor the mentors. Virtual mentoring for almost a year did not slow down the mentors. Mentees are very thankful, and the school district wants to thank Take Stock in Children for all that you do for our students. And today it was my pleasure to see and listen to principals and sponsors of the International Spanish Academy and the dual language programs here within the district. Several board members were on the Zoom call with me, and it was impressive to hear all of the exciting work that's being done in our dual language schools and our International Spanish Academy programs. Wow, I continue to appreciate the work that's being done in our schools during this pandemic. It hasn't slowed down, and we are not missing a beat. And yes, I continue to appreciate the Wellington elected officials, the Wellington Education Committee, for the financial contributions to each of the schools in Wellington. We continue to work so hard with Wellington as a partner for the School District of Palm Beach County, and the funding through the Keely Spinelli grant has helped our schools so much. Many of you may remember Keely. She was beloved here in the School District of Palm Beach County, and her grant helps so many students in the Wellington schools. It shows that it takes the village working together educationally and financially. Thank you, Village of Wellington elected officials. Thank you to the Education Committee. Thank you to the principals, all the parents, and the students of the Village of Wellington for all you're doing, working together to help our students. And I want to tell you that I've been working really hard on several projects that you may not have known about. I was selected to be the chair of the Florida School Boards Association Equity Committee. And I've also been selected to work with the state of Florida as an advisory committee member for the LGBTQ State Advisory Group. And I will be presenting, and I want to thank two people here in this district. You've helped me so much to get ready for these two new jobs, Pete Stewart and Diana Fetterman. When I was selected, I picked up the phone and I called them and I said, tell me what I need to know as it relates to LGBTQ. And they've been working with me all along the way. As I present at the conference that's coming up all together, the state conference, I will be inviting you to maybe check in and see what we're talking about. But more than anything, I'll be getting information to you of all the work that we're doing with the Florida School Boards Association Equity Committee, as well as all of the work I'm doing right now for LGBTQ students. And tonight I did make sure, and I think all of you have these badges that you wear within the schools or wherever you go. It's a way to let the students know that we appreciate students all over Palm Beach County, and everybody deserves to be recognized. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sanders. Dr. Robinson?
Thank you. So first, let me just say thank you to Ms. Whitfield for inviting me to the Boynton Beach City Commission virtual presentation. Your presentation yesterday was very good, very outstanding, I think actually inspirational. I also want to thank Dr. Fenoy for responding in a positive manner to my request to figure out a way to make the COVID vaccine available as soon as possible to our student-facing staff that's 65 and older. Hopefully we can work that out. Dr. Fenoy mentioned the virtual HBCU tour. I shared with the board an article from Brookings Institute about how HBCUs do more with less. You know, we inaugurated our vice president today, who is a Howard grad, and so it's just HBCU love from me. And then I also want to make mention of an outstanding presentation by Brian Knowles, who told a more expansive story about the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on Monday. That presentation is available on the Coalition for Black Student Achievement's YouTube channel, and it's a very interesting look. So let me move to my data. And I'm hoping that in the near future, I won't need to present this data. The staff will bring all this kind of data to us, and we can have this collective conversation about what to do. But in the meantime, let me thank Mark Howard and the iReady team for pulling this data together for me, for verifying it, because I was going to present it last month, but I wanted to double check it, and for providing these bar graphs to show the data. So I want us to deeply study the acquisition of foundational reading skills in kindergarten and third grade for the purpose of improving the work of adults. This data comes from the iReady assessments done in August of 2020 for children in kindergarten and third grade. This is not cohort data. And I do intend to present the kindergarten data to Early Learning Coalition, the Coalition for Black Student Achievement, as well as Children's Services Council, because we have to improve these foundational skills. And this data actually proves some of what I've been saying for a very long time, and so I will be waving it around, trying to get people to respond to change how we govern ourselves. So if you go to the second, I guess I'm supposed to do this. Okay, if you go to this slide, and I'm only going to do 5 slides, so don't be overwhelmed by your printout. If you look at this, so orange is black students. The turquoise is Hispanic, and gray is white. That's the color coding. Males have a black rim around the bar graph, and the socioeconomic status is represented by the bolder shade of orange, turquoise, or gray being students on free and reduced lunch, and the lighter shade being those who are not on free and reduced lunch. Okay, now I am going to skip to slide 8, and I have to coordinate myself here. So this very busy slide shows acquisition of high-frequency words in kindergarten and third grade, sorted by race and socioeconomic status. So girls are on the left and boys are on the right half of the slide. So you will see in each set of bars, the first set, the dark orange, is black students on free and reduced lunch. The next set, light orange, is black students not on free and reduced lunch. Or, excuse me, girls not on free and reduced lunch, and so on. So you will see that each group increased by 58%, from 58% to 71%. The lowest increase was for black males not on free and reduced lunch. The highest was 71% for white females on free and reduced lunch. So now we're going to move on because I know I have limited time. So
Yes, Dr. Robinson, and you're out of that time, so please wrap it up.
you
please.
told me 4 minutes, Mr. Barbieri.
Oh, the clock was
So
running up there on the screen, and it's down to zeros. So
It started on 4?
it did start on 4.
Okay. So do you want me to end?
If you want to go through one more slide for us, go ahead.
Okay. So we do understand I would not be showing these slides if people were studying the data and it was being presented to us. So let me just, okay. So this next slide is phonics. So it's the same thing, K and third. So the point here, instead of focusing on the kindergarten, what I was trying to show you and each of us was who was gaining in our system and who was not, right? So this tells me that somehow engaging and accelerating some of our students in the early years we manage to do, and others we do not. So I ask that we, continue to look at the data, and I am going to, if I can get ahead now from the board members, I want to show one more slide, because I had cut this down to a grand total of 5.
Board members, yes or no? We made an agreement that we were going to limit to 4 minutes. Dr. Robinson, really, this is something you can certainly bring to board discussion. We'd be happy to look at all this stuff because you do bring us valuable information, but the board comments is really...
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot the board comments was the happy talk. Okay, so I'm just going to ask the board to please pay close attention to slide 16, right, which shows you this is vocabulary. And so two subgroups actually decrease their proficiency in vocabulary from K to 3rd in our system. Guess which ones they are. Thank you so much for your indulgence, Mr. Barbieri.
You're welcome, Dr. Robinson. Vice Chairwoman Brill.
Thank you. So good evening, everyone, and what a historic day this has been. A socially distanced presidential inauguration as we all held our breath for a peaceful transition, and our teachers used today as a teachable moment in history. I have just a couple of comments tonight. First, some of you may have read on the district's Facebook page that Chief Operating Officer of Palm Beach Mask, Mike Erickson, donated 32,000 3-ply disposable face masks to our district. I'll say that again. Palm Beach Mask donated 32,000 face masks. Mike is the same person who donated face shields and masks to our school food service employees this past summer. These masks were made right here in Riviera Beach. I cannot thank you enough, Mike, for your generosity as we continue to operate in this new normal. And to my friend, former colleague, and now Budget Committee Representative Chuck Shaw, what an honor it is for me to sit on this dais as we vote to name the new Adult Education Center building the Chuck Shaw Technical Education Center. Your selfless dedication for the past 55-plus years to serving our students of all ages and our employees has not ended. You continue to serve our community, and I cannot think of a better way to honor your legacy. And that was the end of my comments, but since I have a couple seconds more, just to the superintendent, if we are going to bring back data like this, which I think is good for us to look at, I would just ask Mr. Superintendent that the data include ELL, ESC, and also break out the Haitian students. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Brill. Board members, the chairman's report is attached to the agenda, but I wanted to point out one thing. As all of you know, I attend the Construction Oversight Committee meetings as the board's representative. For the last 3 months, Cork has been unable to meet quorum requirements, as many of the Cork members are in their late 60s and 70s and are not willing to come into the meeting with 14 adults plus staff plus the public. As all of you know, Cork reviews all large construction projects at those meetings, questions staff as to concerns, and then votes on whether to recommend to the school board whether they believe we should approve the project, and the results of that vote together with their comments are brought to the board before we vote on the project. Cork oversees capital projects which in most years total in the hundreds of millions of dollars. I've asked the administration and the General Counsel's office to explore the alternatives available that would allow Cork to meet and bring those alternatives back to us as soon as possible, and also to review the situation with the other board advisory committees to determine if any of them are also having quorum issues due to the pandemic. As we customarily do at this meeting, we recognize those of our employees who have passed away. So I'd like to start with Vanya De Silva, a teacher, ESE Autistic Discovery Key Elementary, born in 1960, died in November 2020. Sylvia Garcia, a facilitator, Esau Community Language, Spanish River High School, born in 1959, died in December 2020. Carrie Kelly, District Architect, Facilities Construction, born February 1961, died December 2020. Shanti Kirk, teacher, elementary certified school counselor, Palm Springs Elementary, born October 1971, died November 2020. Ralph Mitchell, worker, maintenance and plant operations, born July 1960, died November 2020. And Judith Moore, Assistant Food Service 1 at Village Academy, born January 1960. She died November 2020. If we could have a moment for these employees, take a moment of silence for these employees and their families. Thank you. We have no presentations while we're in the pandemic. Student government report. President Alvarez.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone had a safe, healthy, and happy holiday season. I can 100% say I speak to you guys on a historical day today. I've only seen a few elections, but I can definitely say that this one has been historic, and I was glued to the TV all throughout school today, and my teachers weren't very happy about it, but I think it's an exception for today. Since we returned from our break, the County Council has continued our work towards making this new year the best year possible. Student governments across the county are continuing to plan school and community-based projects. Our student governments are also continuing to get their committees ready for the upcoming District 5 Rally Convention, in which student governments across Palm Beach, St. Lucie, and Martin counties meet and share project ideas and run for elected positions. Additionally, student leaders have continued to keep all our students informed on school-run social media accounts. They have been providing up-to-date information about school events, sports, and college and career information. The senior class executive boards from each school are continuing to plan and organize special events for the last semester of our high school. As I have mentioned multiple times before, racial equity and student representation have to be at the top of our agendas. I am excited to soon introduce a new idea that I have been working on to allow for students to be more well represented and help us put us on the right track to this goal. As always, I would like to thank everyone on this board for your efforts to better our education opportunities and for making our students your very first priority. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. President. Academic Advisory Committee. Do we have a report? Play the report for us.
Chairman Barbieri, school board members, Dr. Fenoy, and staff. My name is Laura Fellman. I'm honored to speak with you tonight as the chair of the Academic Advisory Committee. Since the requirement of meeting in person has been back in place, we've had some difficulty with attendance at our meetings. Due to a lack of attendance in December, the meeting was canceled. We held our January meeting this past Monday, even though we did not have a quorum again. During Monday's presentation, we heard an overview of the implementation of the Spring 2021 Education Plan and Assurances, including the enhanced outreach to students who have not been attending school virtually or in brick and mortar. We also discussed the dashboard that is used to view this information and how the district is looking at instructional gaps. Through the district's student academic support plan, staff is looking at instructional gaps for all students and how to fill these gaps. They're creating this plan to include all students, whether they are performing below, at, or above grade level. And during the meeting, we also heard an overview of the methods that the district is using for progress monitoring. We heard about the planning, coaching, and monitoring process while seeing examples of the process through the dashboard. We also learned that it is up to the schools and teachers whether the FSQs and USAs can be considered for students' grades. And as the FSQs and USAs are used in ELA, math, science, and social studies courses, we also had a discussion about how progress can be monitored for other courses, and that schools can develop assessments and put them on the scoreboard, and then they too can be analyzed through this dashboard, which keeps the information at the fingertips, so to speak. So we also heard a presentation about the best standards and implementation timeline and the instructional materials adoption for literacy that had a rubric developed with input from the community. It was very exciting information, and we're looking forward to the new rollout. In our next meeting, we'll be reviewing the district's data in edudata.sldoe.org. Thank you very much.
If you're listening, Ms. Feldman, thank you. The Audit Committee report is attached, and I understand Chairman Postal's here for the District Diversity and Equity Committee meeting. Please come up to the podium.
Happy New Year's, everyone, board chair, members, and everyone in your respective places. Student Alvarez, I too was glued to my TV all day today. A lot of tears, a lot of smiles, and repeat. The report is for the work from the DDEC for October and November, as there was no meeting in December. Can you hear me clearly? Perfect.
Yes.
And thank you to the board for approving the contract for the REI and continuing the equity work in this district. I had the pleasure of attending REI Phase 2, along with 39 others, virtually, of course. Ms. Millen and Ms. Starks also gave us an update on the cultural responsive teaching for teachers and leaders. There was 496 teachers enrolled, 382 teachers enrolled in culturally responsive teaching track. In addition, 236 teachers, leaders enrolled, and 168 completed, which 66 expected to have completed in December for leaders. At a glance, we're preparing for Future Principals program. 26 out of 33 people interviewed made the cohort 2. We were impressed with 15 out of 26 are females, 11 out of 26 are males, 14 out of 26 are of color, 12 of 26 are white, 5 Hispanics, 4 Latinx, Colombian, Brazilian, Peruvian, 5 Black, 8 elementary assistant principals, 6 high school assistant principals, and 7 principals in the middle school, with 3 in regional office administrators. The concern with respect to Haitian leaders and how we are preparing them to become principals, seeing the growth of our Haitian population. As previously advised, the DDEC had 2 committees, one dealing with the equity leader position, which that committee have completed their tasks, and we will be meeting with the superintendent and his office. The second was with respect to the diversity and business partners. There was diversity studies completed in 2005 based on that data to 2009, between 2009 and 13. Findings were underutilization and overutilizations, 39 live events and 49 virtual events. So some of the things that we are looking into is engaging other businesses and doing the work with the district, and how do we ensure other businesses are aware of businesses that are not in their language, but they are qualified. Some challenges is, what are the barriers preventing the teachers to become principals? And the clarification of the actual COVID dashboard, which we did get clarification through an email after our meeting. Today, during the inauguration, the amount of diversity and cultural differences on display demonstrated the importance of continuing to fight for diversity, equity, and inclusion in everything that encompasses DEI. And as Amanda Gorman reminded us, there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it. Thank you.
Thank you. That'll take us to elected officials and delegates. James Gavrillos, President and CEO of the Education Foundation. Good evening, Mr. President.
Good evening, sir. I'm looking for my clock. So just throw something at me when I hit 3 minutes. Superintendent Fenoy, Chairman Barbieri, members of the school board, and respected members of the staff and honored guests. Over the almost 4 years that I've been here, you've heard me say repeatedly, our basic mission is to be the nexus between the business community and the world of education. This was made very stark to me early on. I think I was only here about 3 weeks when a hurricane came roaring through, and I had driven a truckload of school supplies out to the Glades. One of our board members, Jim Moore, who's a senior executive with United Healthcare, met me, and here's this executive for the healthcare industry helping me offload pallets of school supplies. We got to KC Canal Point, and there was this very tall, distinguished gentleman, took his tie off, and he's helping us throw boxes around, and I looked at him and I said, "You're amazing. I have to tell Dr. Hibbler how hard you're working," and he patted me on the shoulder and said, "I am Dr. Hibbler." I say that because these are the kind of principals and leaders you have, Dr. Fenoy. Next Thursday night, your Education Foundation is pleased to sponsor the annual Principal of the Year, and this year it will be also the Assistant Principal of the Year celebration. We'll be honoring both a principal and an assistant principal from the 4 regions who have each nominated one of their incredible leaders. On Tuesday night, we're going to have a special reception, and I hope many of you on the school board could come because our business partners just want a chance to meet you. They want to share with you their passion for public education in Palm Beach County and get to know you. On Thursday night at 4 o'clock, we will have that celebration thanks to our great partners at the Education Network and the Communication Department. People can participate virtually. Just go to the Education Foundation website and you can register and get the link to be able to watch that. And that again is next Thursday, the 28th at 4 o'clock. Who are these people? From the North region, your Principal of the Year nominee is Philip D'Amico from Watson B. Duncan Middle School, and your Assistant Principal nominee is Andrea Walker from Lincoln Elementary. From the Glades region, there's that good gentleman, Dr. Hibbler, Derek Hibbler from KEC Canal Point. Interestingly enough, the Assistant Principal of the Year is also from KEC Canal Point, Altoria Henley. Some good leadership out there at KEC Canal Point. The Central Region nominee for Principal of the Year is Adrian Howard from UB Kinsey Palmview, and the Assistant Principal nominee is Justin Arnone from Palm Beach Central High School. Finally, down south, your Principal of the Year nominee is Rachel Capitano from Don Estridge High Tech Middle School, and the South Region Assistant Principal of the Year nominee, Jeannie Plassel from Banyan Creek Elementary. That's the education side. The business partners, we can't thank Comcast enough, who underwrites the entire event. The breakers, Coca-Cola Beverages Florida, Dell Computers, HBK, JP Morgan Chase, Kaiser University. Just listen to these business partners who love our principals. Kaiser University, Miami Dolphins, Moss Construction, Office Depot, PNC Bank, Skanska Construction, Song & Associates, TD Bank, Tickets at Work, United Healthcare, Verdicts Construction, and the Whites Company. These are companies who are putting their dollars into education to honor the incredible principals and assistant principals in Palm Beach County. Members of the school board, senior administration staff who've been invited, we hope we see you next Tuesday night for the reception at Red Apple Supply. Get to know our business community and let them get to know you. They love our teachers, they support our principals, and they will be there as we forge in to whatever this new normal is going to look like. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the work of your Education Foundation to bring these amazing business partners and unite them to our incredible principals, assistant principals, and teachers. We will see you next Thursday night online as we honor the great leadership in Palm Beach County. Dr. Fenoy, Chairman Barbieri, thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Gavrilis. Dr. Billy Gira, Living Skills in Schools. I'm sorry if I mispronounce your last name. Give it my best shot there.
Pretty good.
Okay.
Good evening, school board members and superintendent. My name is Dr. Billy Gara, and I am here on behalf of Dr. Suzanne Spencer, CEO of Living Skills in the Schools. Living Skills in the Schools is a substance abuse prevention program that has been serving Palm Beach County schools with free programming since 1999. We are licensed by the Department of Children and Families and accredited by CARF. Last school year alone, Living Skills in the Schools reached over 50,000 students in grades K through 12 in 76 schools throughout Palm Beach County and delivered over 1,500 live presentations. In times where schools may be at home in times where schools may be home and brick and mortar, our mission remains the same: to build each child's resistance to substance abuse through age-appropriate education, reassurance, understanding, peer support, and access to help. We are here today to share with you a collaboration that occurred with school board member Alexandria Aya and John A. Leonard High School. Dr. Spencer created the Family Box for Substance Abuse Prevention to support families through these times of extraordinary challenge. Living Skills in the Schools knows that families are worried about their kids and the long-term impact of social isolation on mental health, challenges with coping skills, and increased risky behavior. We wanted to assist families and help them reduce and prevent substance abuse by teaching kids the skills and perspective they need to resist substance abuse and addiction. Together, we step in where parents, families, neighborhoods, and schools may be overwhelmed, out of their depth, and lacking resources. The Family Box for Substance Abuse Prevention is based on the research that suggest that regular family dinners with teens have been shown to help reduce substance abuse risk. Whether families already gather for family dinner, meals or not, we wanted this kit to help families have what for many is a challenging conversation. We also hope that it provides resource support when and where a family may need it, and ultimately increasing resilience in the next generation. The 500 boxes were funded by the Health Council of Southeast Florida. On January 13th, in partnership with school board member Alexandria Ayala and the leadership and faculty of John I. Leonard High School, family boxes for substance abuse prevention coupled with family meal kits were handed out at a drive-through distribution event. I would also like for you guys to know that currently LSIS is in discussions with Ms. Elkison from Florida Power and Light to explore providing boxes to substance abuse preventions to schools in Riviera Beach. Thank you.
Thank you. Chuck Ridley from FPSU SEIU.
Superintendent, board members, Happy New Year to all. Today actually was a beautiful day. And these pearls and chucks, I'm not quite sure what that's all about, but I'm seeing some beautiful pearls going around. So I'm here to talk about a couple of things. First, I want to talk about the collective bargaining agreement. On behalf of SEIU, I want to make the board and superintendent aware that even in the middle of a pandemic, while difficult, it went quite well. For the most part, I believe our leadership will say that this election cycle was fair, particularly given the uncertain times where we're in. And this could not have happened if it was not for the support of you, Dr. Fenoy, and for this board. So on behalf of the employees, we want to say thank you. Now I want to shift to an item on your agenda that will look at revising your school calendar. As you know, SEIU represents some of the hardest working employees you have. Many of our employees, as a result of the job they do, are placed at extreme risk. Examples, bus drivers. Yet they do their job. Why? Because they really believe in the value of your mission statement. A statement that stressed commitment to providing a world-class education, commitment to providing equity, commitment to making sure each student reaches his or her potential, a commitment to effective staff. It is the commitment to effective staff that I will want to discuss now. The economic hardship that will be placed on our bargaining unit if you delay the start of the school year will place them in a position that can't square up with that mission statement, if you really do mean those words that you have in that statement. The group affected the most by this will be paraprofessionals, school, food service workers and managers, bus drivers and bus attendants. Please realize only a small percent of these employees are able to get any summer work to make up for the economic shortfall they experienced during the summer months. Now, this was in place long before the pandemic, so you can imagine how this impacts them now. Many could be in danger of losing their houses or their vehicles or unable to even feed their families because of the cash flow issue that will be created by this decision. Employees in our bargaining unit are dependent on their check coming at the usual time, and like me, many live from paycheck to paycheck. It would be completely irresponsible for the school district to change their pay schedule without good reason. And we have heard no good reason in the past, and I don't really anticipate hearing a good reason now. So if you decide to reverse or revise the calendar in a manner that places our workers at hardship, then find ways to minimize the financial impact. Our union and staff and member leaders stand prepared to help you work through this process. Again, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ridley. Dr. Peter Cruz, Executive Director of Leroy Collins Public Ethics Academy at FAU. That's a recorded. Please play it.
Good evening, school board members. This is Dr. Peter Cruz. I'm the Executive Director of the Leroy Collins Public Ethics Academy at Florida Atlantic University, and I'm speaking on a non-agenda item. I'm just wanting to remind you all that on February 1st, 2021, the National High School Ethics Bowl will be held here in Palm Beach County, this year virtually on Zoom. And the school district and FAU are entering their second year of our partnership in providing this wonderful service to our high school students here in Palm Beach County. The National High School Ethics Bowl promotes respectful, supportive, and rigorous discussion of ethics among thousands of high school students nationwide. The Department of Teaching and Learning within the school district of Palm Beach County has partnered with the Leroy Collins Public Ethics Academy at FAU as the regional organizer for Southeast Florida. I'd like to thank Diana Snyder and Tara Hughes at the school district, along with Diane Fetterman, for helping pull this activity off this year. And I'm looking forward to a number of the board members serving as judges. And again, thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you, Dr. Cruz. Laura Feldman, President of Palm Beach County PTA.
Good evening, Chairman Barbieri, school board members, Dr. Fenoy, and staff. My name is Laura Feldman, and I'm speaking to you as President of Palm Beach County Council of PTAs, PTFAs. As part of our advocacy efforts, County Council is advocating for the prioritization of school personnel for COVID vaccines. As part of the Learning First Alliance, National PTA, along with the National Education Association, the National School Boards Association, the American Federation of Teachers, and the National Associations of Elementary Principals and Secondary Principals sent a letter to the CDC emphasizing the importance of vaccinations for school personnel. Also, I would like to take this time to share with you about upcoming County Council and community events. Our general meeting will be on January 25th at 7 p.m. via Zoom. Our virtual Reflections Awards program will be on February 11th. Through the Reflections program, PTA shows the importance of including arts in our schools and our students' lives. We hope you will be able to join us for this virtual celebration of the fantastic artwork our students have created. County Council is also looking forward to participating in Florida PTA's upcoming virtual legislative conference on March 21st and 22nd, where we will continue our advocacy efforts on behalf of all students. For more information about the conference and to register, please go to the Programs and Events page at floridapta.org. We are continuing our Letters of Love program, where students can earn community service hours for writing letters to the elderly in nursing homes. For more information, please contact Sharon Lubin at wellness.pbccpta@gmail.com. Also, please check out our Facebook page for information about community health and wellness events such as Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital's free virtual Spanish Epilepsy Spanish Support Group meeting on February 2nd at 5:30 p.m. and Basic Life Support Provider courses at the Lake Worth campus of Palm Beach State College, which will be held in person and cost $69.25. You are all invited to celebrate PTA's Founders Day with County Council by participating in a COVID-safe scavenger hunt. For more information, please contact communication.pbccpta@gmail.com. Thank you for listening and have a good evening.
Thank you, President Feldman. We now have agenda item speakers. Come up to the podium when I call your name, and please remember, watch the clock. You have 3 minutes. Mark Black and then Scott Simon.
My name is Scott Simon. I am a parent of a freshman and a junior at Spanish River High School. Before this horrible pandemic, I attended, watched, and spoke at multiple board meetings regarding the 2021 school calendar with a proposed start date of August 10th, 2020. At that time, the board received significant opposition to that very early start date and was largely opposed to it, or at least seriously concerned with it. However, despite many valid reasons to push back the start date, the board ultimately approved that calendar, primarily and understandably because it wanted to avoid a further pay gap for all employees in the district. Now, for the 21-22 school calendar, that logic no longer applies. There is no pay gap issue because this upcoming summer starts a full 3 weeks later than last summer, on June 19th this year, as compared to May 30th last year. Nevertheless, the calendar committee has once again proposed the earliest permissible start date of August 10th, 2021. Why? Why cut the summer down to just 7 weeks? I understand 10 weeks may be unrealistic this summer, but why not at least 8 weeks? I would question whether the calendar committee has some ulterior motive in starting school on the very first permissible date every year. What's the logic? I also understand the board may want to complete the first semester before Christmas break. So do I. But the proposed calendar already has an excess of days in the first semester. For example, the proposed 22-23 calendar on today's agenda has 85 days in the first semester, but the 21-22 calendar has 87 days. Why do we need those 2 extra days next year? Also, as Chairman Barbieri stated at a meeting last year, no other industry in the world gives a full week off for Thanksgiving. Why do we continue to do it? Shorten the break to just 3 days like it used to be for so many years, and if necessary, shorten Christmas break by another day or 2. Between ending school late on June 18th and starting early on August 10th, Palm Beach County students would be hard-pressed to have a productive summer. My daughter is a junior at the top of her class, interested in medicine. She wants to attend a 6 or 7 week summer science program, one that would, quote, look good on her college applications. However, with this proposed calendar, it would be impossible. So many programs in the country either start before June 18th or end after August 10th. Take the Young Scholars Program at FSU, for example. It's an amazing 6-week summer program for Florida high school juniors with significant potential in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and math. And it's free. My daughter would love to apply, but it starts Sunday, June 13th, 2021, or a full week before school ends here. Or take the pre-college science program at NYU as another example. It's another great program, but it ends August 14th, or a week after school is proposed to start here. There are many more programs she would love to attend. However, simply because she's a public school student in Palm Beach County, she's shut out of those programs. I would urge the board to push back the school start date at least to Monday, August 16th. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Simon. We have 3 recorded agenda topic speakers, Emily Baloff, Terry Lopez, and Lisa Reich with the IT department.
Good afternoon. My name is Emily Baloff. I'm a parent of second grade children who attend Marsh Point Elementary School. I am calling regarding the meeting that will be occurring on January 20th, meant to discuss the 20, 21, 22 calendar dates. I'm strongly urging the board to consider extending, or rather giving our teachers, students, and parents a normal summer. We're already extending the school year to June 18th, which is 3 weeks longer than it normally is. And if we start school back up on August 10th, then our children will have less than 8 weeks of summer break. I'm an 80s child. I have never experienced a summer that short in my lifetime. I'm sure there are many others who can agree with that sentiment. Teachers have been taxed this year impossibly, teaching on students via 2 different platforms. Students have had their lives turned upside down. Parents have been dealing with the brunt of multitasking and turning their homes into classrooms, workspaces, and homes for the last year and a half, and all of us need the break. So if you're going to end the school year on June 18th, I am strongly encouraging not starting school until at least the end of August, and, if necessary, the first week in September. Miami-Dade is not starting school until August 23rd. They're ending their year on June 8th, as is Broward County. We will be cutting summer short for everyone who has endured this year and a half. And kids need to be kids. Teachers need to disconnect, as do parents. Please, if we're ending the school year on June 18th, please push forward the start of school to, at the earliest, the first week in August, to give everybody at least 2 months to regroup, recenter, so that we can start the 2021-22 school year strong and ready. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Terry Lopez. I'm calling in regards to topic ELR1, in regards to this proposed school calendar for Palm Beach County. The discussion item is, the expectation is that they would like to propose a longer school year. I have a fundamental issue with that, specifically because children and teachers are struggling, not just this year, but last year. The volume of work that these students are being assigned as it relates to schoolwork as well as homework, it is outrageous. My child specifically was formerly a honor roll student from kindergarten up until this year. The sheer volume of work, it is excessive. So to hear people talking about extending the school year when there's so many things that you all need to mitigate, you need to figure out how to get these school kids back into the buildings safely. You need to figure out how to do it safely for your teachers. You need to figure out how you can better to support your teachers, because a lot of these teachers are being put in an awkward situation where in some cases they are assigning probably too much work that they probably can't even grade quickly, timely. They're being asked to support students that are in person, that are online, and then children that are in the classroom, and it's a lot that you're asking people to adjust. I'm just asking for you guys to really stop and consider what your intent is. What will you guys gain from a longer school year besides making these children and the teachers be even more fatigued than they already are? One of the other main things that I feel like you guys need to mitigate, and you're not doing a really good job with, is just mental health issues. Domestic violence, certain things in people's homes have escalated as a result of COVID-19, and there's so many other things that you guys need to prioritize that is not being prioritized. The school year does not need to be longer. You guys have taken away extracurricular activities. These children are stressed, and now on top of it, you want to extend it to take away time that they have over the summer to debrief and just breathe. It's too much. You guys really, really need to stop and see what you're doing to these children. Children should not have the level of stress that they have. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Lisa Wright. I am a mother of 3 children in the Palm Beach County School District. They're all elementary students. I'd like to speak about ELR1, I believe. It's referring to the calendar, the upcoming vote you're having today. I also own a travel agency, a local travel agency, and I'd like to give you a perspective from what I am seeing. I have booked over 300 families to travel spring break 2022. They were all booked on the old calendar. Now, I know I'm not the only one that does this. I know, I've spoken to other colleagues as well. These people are going to lose a lot of money by changing the spring break week and moving it 1 week earlier. Moving it as you have proposed to do from the original calendar that was approved in July 2019. This change in the spring break date is really going to be detrimental to not only my business, but to so many families, again, that have already paid and booked for a specific week. In terms of booking for Christmas and New Year's, that also is a big issue because people travel the 2 weeks They go 1 week because they need 1 week for a rental. A lot of house rentals are week to week, so Saturday to Saturday. So although you are keeping about the same amount of time, what you are doing is cutting it off and not doing Saturday to Saturday. You're doing it on a Thursday to Thursday, which inhibits many, many, many property rentals, vacation rentals, resorts, and such. I really strongly recommend, beg for you to go back to the original calendar that was proposed and not change that spring break by 1 week earlier. Keep it the week of the 20th. If you could, that would be huge to so many families, and I'm seeing it every day. All right, thank you. I really appreciate your consideration.
One last call for Mark Black. Are you here? All right, we'll move to board members. The two items have been pulled.